Hey, my friend, and welcome. I'm Geeta, and I'm a spiritual and wellness activist. And I love to take the best of traditional practices like my lineage, integral yoga, and teach you how to use it in your everyday life so that you can feel more easeful, more peaceful, and more useful. And this is a follow up video to my first video on using yoga to ease COVID vaccine side effects. So if you haven't watched part one, you can watch part one. I'll link it below. This is part two because I received my second dose of the Pfizer vaccine and I got hit with the side effects that laid me up for 5 days. And I learned some stuff and I want to share it with you guys. So I'm very grateful that I got the second dose of the Pfizer vaccine, and I hope I have a lot of really, really healthy antibodies. And here's the side effects that occurred for me. I did receive my second dose in the morning, and I felt tired that evening, but that was it. But overnight, I woke up with a fever. I had whole body muscle aches. I had a strong headache, this overwhelming fatigue, and nauseated. Not so bad that I couldn't eat, but just felt very, very off. The next morning, I awoke and tried to get up, ate a little bit of breakfast. By 9, 10 o'clock, I was back in bed and my head hit the pillow and I was out. I had such a bad headache that it was very difficult to concentrate. And that continued throughout the day. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I started to feel a little better. Even Tuesday morning, I got the shot on Friday. Tuesday morning, I was still feeling pretty lousy. Didn't work for days. I was able to prop myself up on the couch and write a little bit, but that was about it. So I got whammied. And Wednesday I worked a half day, limped through. Thursday I worked a half day, limped through. By Friday, a full week after I received the vaccine, I started to finally feel better. I'm now a week and a half out and still feel a little more fatigued than usual. I'll just be honest. It seems to really be hanging on for me, but I'm fully back to work, back to working out again, have my full energy. And know too that these are simply side effects. If you're taking the messenger form, like is it in Pfizer, messenger RNA, it's amazing. It goes into the cell and it tells the cell, hey, yo, create this little spiky protein that's going to look a lot like this horrible virus. So your body sees that spiky protein and goes, yo, we better attack that. So these are the side effects that I was feeling of my immune system functioning, of my immune system driving through the tissues to produce the response it needs to create those antibodies. So boy, it was tiring though. So here's what I learned. I want to give you a couple of things. One of the first things that comes right from yoga tradition, and I believe I mentioned it in the last video, but this saved me. Practicing yoga nidra, guided relaxation. This intentional rest helps move your nervous system from that fight or flight state, that real reactive, when you're clenching, you have a fever, you feel achy, everything is like this, helps to shift that to where your parasympathetic nervous system is activated. When your parasympathetic nervous system is activated, your body does a more efficient job at producing things like immunity, at clearing away waste products in the bloodstream. And it helps to integrate, I think, in a more yogic perspective, helps to integrate this new energetic information that your immune system is receiving into increased immunity rather than a state where you're now in this heightened energetic state of being held and feeling overly defensive. Smooths out the waves, basically. And when you do this guided relaxation, listen, I felt so crappy that I wasn't doing the guided relaxation and feeling the benefits like I usually do. I simply had it playing in the room where I was resting. And I noticed the times when I had it playing in the background, even when I felt like I wasn't even really listening to it because I felt so lousy, I noticed that I awoke from those sleep sessions feeling more relaxed, feeling more alert, and feeling better than in the other days when I was sleeping and just say, I feel too crappy, I don't even want to listen to it. I would notice I wouldn't have that same benefit. We know that your thoughts are powerful. Your thoughts are neurochemistry. So by changing your thoughts, you can help enhance that healing response of your body. Even if it feels like you're not listening, having a guiding relaxation playing in the room in the background is going to do no harm, and it is worth the experiment. One other thing that really, really helped me, which comes direct from the yoga tradition, is for me personally, my own experience was I felt very much energetically that my energy was like taut wire. Like it just felt like this, like underneath the skin, like, ooh. If you're someone who studies Ayurveda and you know the doshas, I'm a Vata dosha, so I tend to be a little more up here, a little more tend to anxiety and over talking, overdoing things, being a little scattered. That's my pattern. So it seemed to aggravate that condition. And we do know in Ayurveda, which is the sister science to yoga, that things like surgeries can aggravate that vata, can aggravate and promote a state of anxiety and restlessness. So I think my body was going along just fine, and then I put that vaccine in there and it was like, whoa, what just happened? So that overreactive state, I used a mantra to calm it down. So that overreactive state didn't stay around any longer than it had to, and then it didn't create any negative mental association for myself with the vaccine. I used the mantra Om Shanti. I have a whole video on Om Shanti that I'll link below, but these mantras don't just point to like external peace or an idea of peace. They actually are the vibration of peace themselves. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om. I chanted that mentally when I felt well enough to, on day 3 or day 4. And I could feel my energetic, my pranic body, we call it in yoga. I could feel it just calming the F down. Just that will help to calm inflammation. Regular repetition of the mantra at a sedative, slow pace. We know from music therapy, I'm also a music therapist, at a regular, slow, steady pace, that repetition of mantra will help calm the mind, move the brain patterns into a more steady, less reactive state, and calms that overreaction that we have and moves you towards wholeness. What else helped me? Oh, huge one here, electrolytes. I'll link the one I use below, Hydrant. I like that one particularly because it has just enough sugar to make it palatable, but it's not so clingy sugar like a lot of those upmarket drinks that are like bright orange and full of lots of things. Hydrant was made by, I believe, Oxford scientists. So it has just enough of the electrolytes, sodium, potassium, magnesium, and zinc. And it has just enough sugar for flavor and function, a little real fruit juice powder. And I was feeling a lot of brain fog and fatigue. I had a huge glass of this, and an hour later, I was like, ooh, I felt much better. I don't know the science behind it, but I do know that when we're sick, our breathing patterns and our respiration tends to be faster, and we tend to breathe more through the mouth. If you think about it, when you're laying there in bed feeling lousy with fever, you're doing a little more of that type of thing, even if you don't have an upper respiratory infection. There's a little more of that. When you're breathing through the mouth and more rapidly, you're losing a lot of moisture. It's just going out. So I think I got really dehydrated even though I wasn't sick, with the throwing and the going. So staying hydrated like that with a really quality electrolyte water formula, that was a game changer. That really started to turn the corner for me. I didn't realize how dehydrated I had gotten. Even though they told me when I got the shot, drink lots of water, the water didn't do it. The water with electrolytes really helped. Along with that, a banana really helped too. I was quite not really feeling like eating, but banana was a very bland diet. It's often one of the ones that's recommended if you have any dietary upset. It also has potassium, which is another vital electrolyte and mineral, which helps your nerve cells to send out a charge to beat regularly. A nerve rewind The potassium helps tell your nerve cells to send out a signal to the heart to beat at a more regular pattern. That's a good thing. Eat a banana. What else did I do? Banana, electrolytes. Oh, kombucha. Last thing. Now, kombucha, comes with some caveats, depending on which doctor you ask in all this. Here's my 2 cents. It is probiotic rich, so it contains live bacteria and yeasts, which are healthy little microbes that benefit your digestive system. And your digestive system and your immunity is strongly linked. It also has polyphenols, and these polyphenols help decrease inflammation and act as an antioxidant. So what I was feeling, that really inflamed situation that I was describing, maybe was helped. All I know is, again, I drank a kombucha, an hour or 2 later, I was like, wow, I feel markedly better. Of course, this is very anecdotal here, but there you have it. Now, please get your kombucha from a reputable source. There were a few bad batch cases years and years ago, and unfortunately, they did lead to serious illness and even one death. So make sure that you're getting it from a reputable source. The FDA says it's okay to drink most of the stuff you're buying that's in the mass market supermarket because they're really looking at the fermentation process, the cleanliness of the batches, and all of that. Maybe if you're getting it at a farmer's market, really question that person of how they're doing it, because it is a fermented drink and you want to make sure that the bacteria and everything you're consuming in it is of the healthy variety. So if you're immunocompromised, you're pregnant, steer clear and avoid, do your research. However, if you can get a reputable source that you know is very clean and stringent with how they are fermenting their kombucha, which is fermented black tea, then it can be very, very helpful. Mantra. Last 2 things. Ask for help and receive compassion from other people. Man, by day 5, I was like, are you kidding me? I just want to feel better. I want this headache to go away. I want to feel like I don't have to fall asleep every hour. And, I want to just get back to my life. Grateful for the vaccine, but let's go. So I asked for help and for some compassion. I reached out to 4 or 5 of my closest friends and I said, I'm struggling. I'm still feeling lousy. Can you just send a little good vibe my way? Here's a very interesting quote from Bill Bryson in his wonderful book called A Body, A Guide for Occupants. This is about compassion. Just being kind, for instance, can help. A study in New Zealand of diabetic patients in 2016 found that the proportion suffering severe complications was 40% lower among patients treated by doctors rated high for compassion. As one observer put it, that is, quote, comparable to the benefits seen with most intensive medical therapy for diabetes. Severe complications was 40% lower among patients treated by doctors rated higher for compassion. So, man, I got to tell you, those people reaching out to me saying, hey, I got your back, sending you good vibes, and then having them check in with me the next day. How you doing? What's the Gita update? Man, it meant a lot. It boosted me and it got me over that last little hump. So reach out to your people. Afterwards, this is the last point. Say you've made it through, you're through the side effects. Afterwards, if you're someone who enjoys massage, get a massage to make sure that any areas of physical tension that happened while you were grinning and bearing it, make sure that those patterns are released and put back into a homeostasis and back into calm functioning. If you have someone that you know and trust who has been really, really well trained and who has their own disciplined practice in energy work, you can get energy work, Reiki, acupuncture. There's probably other modalities out there I don't know, but really make sure that your practitioner practices themselves. Not just that they have technical knowledge, but they actually have a grounded energy-based practice themselves, and check their lineage and who they've been trained by. You can do some gentle yoga. I'll link to some of my gentle yoga below. Also things like Tai Chi and Qigong. I'll link to my wonderful teacher Ken Cohen below, and also Integral Yoga TV for more yoga. But Ken Cohen is the go-to person for Qigong and Tai Chi. Highly recommend. He walks the walk and talks the talk. Those things will very much help your system to balance, to harmonize, so that that vaccine can be used to your highest good, and make sure that any lingering sort of imbalances or stuff you picked up, even in the musculature, is returned back to homeostasis. That's it. So let's go through it again. Banana, electrolytes, kombucha if you want. Definitely yoga nidra. Definitely mantra, does no harm. Afterwards, get some massage, energy work, do your own gentle yoga, tai chi, spend some time in nature, and be healthy and be well. Thank you to all of those who brought these vaccines to fruition. May we all experience that true health, wellness, and peace. Always, always, always sending you lots of love from the library here at Three Dog Farm. If you like this and found this useful, please consider subscribing, sharing with your friends most of all, because we're all in this together. We got to help each other through this pandemic in any way that we can. So I'm really grateful that you took the time to watch. Sending you lots of peace. Hope to see you soon. Lots of classes listed below with Yoga for Gita. Okay, my friends, see you soon. Om Shanti. Peace.